Right. Jay Moore, what are you drinking there?
Drinking some water, Pat Porter. Getting my vocals all prepared to do some radio here.
Yeah.
4680Q.
Yeah.
How you doing, everybody?
Fine. Well, there's everybody. It's just you and me in the room.
I know. Why am I asking? No one's going to answer me back.
But they're all waving their hands.
I guess it's just one of those things that you just get so used to. Like, how you doing, everybody? I don't know.
Hey, everybody out there in Radio Land.
There's not really a good way to open a show. I don't know. When you're doing radio, like when you're doing a crossover. You know what I mean?
Oh, well, you argue with the person before you. That's all.
Is that how you do?
Or you blandly talk about what's coming up.
I mean, with you and KK back in the day, nothing but an argument. But
well, she'd pick on me.
Yeah.
And then I have to stand up for myself and shoot it right back at her. Right?
It's almost like she wants to trash what you just did, and the KK show is rolling in, and here we go.
See, her show was ending, and mine was starting.
Right.
So
right.
Yeah,
yes.
So she would be talking about I'm coming in. Well, time to shut the radio off now. Pat Porter's back.
So,
KK show is gone till tomorrow. And I'd say, well, who cares? So go ahead and leave already.
I know. The broadcasters with attitude, much like, people think I got some, but I just say what I want to say, I guess. I don't know.
Do your thing.
Do your thing.
Do your thing.
Do your thing.
What do we got today?
Great show today, Mr. Pat Porter. Legendary, and I do mean legendary pro wrestler. I don't think a lot of the people in this area from this generation of wrestling fans maybe not recognize the name Bobby Fulton, which I'm not throwing shade on that at all because this man has been in wrestling forever, since the 70s. And it's going to be interesting to go over some of his stories and talk to him. But he's a wrestling promoter and is running a huge show and has been a wrestling promoter for a lot of years, Pat Porter. And
Bobby Fulton.
Yes, in charge of world-class professional big-time wrestling.
Wow, that's a mouthful.
That's a lot. It's not like,
world-class, professional, big-time wrestling.
Yes, and I'm talking about a huge, mega show happening next Saturday, Pat Porter.
I saw that poster. There's like 50 pictures of wrestlers on that. We got that up on Facebook.
Yeah, we got it up on Facebook. March 9th, the reunion, Cavalcade of Legends. Interestingly enough, a former guest on this show, Todd Gordon from ECW, is going to be there.
All right.
Yes, we talked to him about his book when he was being released. And that's actually a big reunion. A lot of ECW stars are going to be on there, and a lot of major stars. One of the biggest ones, Kurt Angle, Olympic gold medalist, Rob Van Dam, Ultimo Dragon, Jimmy Hart, Honky Tonk Man, Missy Hyatt, Greg Valentine, Tugboat, Brooklyn Brawler, Alberto Del Rio, Terry Runnels, Jimmy Valiant, Coco Beware, The Mountie, Sandman, Skinner, Al Snow, Sabu, Medusa, James Storm, and that's not even all of it.
There's about 50.
There's a ton of it. Rob Van Dam having they call it the whole effing Q&A.
Wow.
You know what that means?
No.
Rob Van Dam was the whole effing show. Do you know what effing means?
I know what that means.
Yeah, okay. He was the whole effing show from ECW. So he's doing a Q&A between 5 and 6. A fan fest from noon to 5. So you got a lot of hours to go see these stars and get autographs, get selfies, buy some merchandise.
Wow.
And then the Super Show is going to be at 7 o'clock, and that's going to be huge. OUC Shoemaker Center in, how do you say this, Pat Porter? I know you're from Ohio.
Chillicothe, Ohio.
Ohio. You spent time down there.
I did it. Down in central Ohio, south of Columbus, towards the Ohio River.
Yeah.
It's in hill country down there.
Yeah, and you even mentioned some of the people that you know from that area are going to be at that show.
That's right.
Yeah,
I got a text yesterday from somebody from Cleveland.
Right.
That said they're going to be down there at Chillicothe to take that in on March 9th.
Yeah, that's going to be great.
Yeah, Alan checked in with me. So he's going down there. Yeah.
Okay.
It's going to be great.
Yeah, so that's what's happening today, and Bobby Fulton has a huge career, man. I mean, he started wrestling at 16 years old. Can you believe this? Can you believe this?
I believe he started wrestling then, but professionally, he was making money then, or what?
Well, we're going to find that out. I know he started. I know that he's famous also for wrestling a live bear.
Wow.
Back in the day where they used to have that stuff. Bobby Fulton was the guy that would do that. Did a lot of wrestling in...
I would want to try that.
In Virginia and all those areas. Some of these old names, Pat Porter, maybe you know them. Dr. Jerry Graham was actually Vince McMahon's idol in the day. Vince McMahon,
I've heard the name, yeah.
Dr. Jerry Graham, he's wrestled in the Stu Hart territory, Dynamite Kid, Bret Hart, Cuban Assassin, and a bunch more. The Harts teamed up with Terry Taylor as the Fantastic Ones before he became the Fantastics. Worked for Jerry Jarrett, Continental Wrestling Association, which was a big promoter and the father of Jeff Jarrett. So There's a lot. And it went into his own promotions. Oh, my God. You can go down the list here. Did a lot with Jim Cornette, did a lot with the Bushwhackers, worked for the NWA, worked for All Japan Pro Wrestling, Smoky Mountain Wrestling.
Mountain Wrestling?
Yeah.
Wow. They're big on wrestling down there in the Smoky
Mountains. Sure are. Brief appearance with the WWF, and I don't know. I think it's best just to get him on the air and run down the list, because we could be here for hours talking about the great Bobby Fulton, and I'm looking forward to it. I think the audience is looking forward to it. I've had a lot of comments saying this is going to be great, and are listening live right now.
Yeah.
Waiting for the great Bobby Fulton.
This is going to be a podcast probably by sometime tomorrow, maybe tonight even.
I'll put it up,
Yeah, it'll go up on YouTube.
Yeah.
And you can have a look at that. You can listen to it.
Mm-hmm.
And then March 9th is a week from today.
That's right, next Saturday.
Chillicothe, Ohio. Google that.
Mm-hmm.
Chillicothe, Ohio.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And take you about from here, if you're going from Niagara.
7 hours.
Once you're across the border. 6-7 hours.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's it.
I think it's worth it. That's a huge show.
Yeah.
A huge show.
Not expensive either.
No, not expensive. I don't know what the ticket prices are, but
Fan Fest starting at noon for 5 hours of that. Now, what's going to happen at the Fan Fest for people that don't know?
We're gonna talk to Bobby about that, but what I'm assuming happens, it would be much like how Comic-Con does their events here, where we'll have some of the stars, the wrestlers sitting at a table, and they do a meet and greet. You form a line, and you get your autograph signed. Maybe you can bring in some merchandise that you own of your own self.
Oh yeah,
to get signed. Selfies, whatever. Q&A with Rob Van Dam, so that's interesting.
Face slap like Bin Hamid.
Yes, you get a $5 face slap. It's a big deal, and it's a huge reunion. So, excuse me as I always cough on my own show.
Rob Van Dam has a Q&A for an entire hour, 5 o'clock until 6 o'clock.
Yeah.
And then I guess there's kind of a break after that. You can find your seat, get something to eat, settle back, get a few drinks or whatever, and then at 7 o'clock, the Super Show begins. Yeah,
which I'm assuming would be the pro wrestling, and they're calling this the Reunion 3. So I'm assuming this is like happening once a year. We're gonna see what Bobby has to say about that. But cavalcade of legends, and certainly their list of legends. I mean, to me, this is bigger than WrestleMania. I would rather go to this than WrestleMania.
You're going to see people that you remember from many years ago that are going to be down there and actually get back in the ring, aren't they?
Well, I don't know.
Not all of them.
I mean, a lot of these guys are retired, but they still have. They're still superstars. There's the fans still remember a lot of these wrestlers, and it's interesting that Bobby books and promotes these wrestlers that are kind of maybe retired from the ring, but there's still a huge fan base of fans that want to see these people.
Oh yeah,
want to see the wrestlers. Grew up watching these wrestlers, and it's. I mean, it's like when we had Demolition Axe on. He said it best just a few weeks ago when we had Demolition Axe on. He said we couldn't do this back in the day. Like, they were in the ring on the road and they couldn't meet the fans. And a lot of these wrestlers, a lot of these guys like to sit down and like to hear these old stories.
Yeah.
Like to sign stuff, and they like to talk and engage with the fans. Yeah. So I mean, here's your opportunity to do that. Yeah,
I imagine there's going to be merchandise for sale as well.
For sure, yeah. There's always merchandise at these wrestling shows. I mean, this is going to be fun. I may take the day off of the radio and go out there myself.
All right.
That would be great.
I'll have to fill in for you and do it myself here.
Yeah.
Without you.
Yeah.
The infamous Jay Moore Show.
I can report from the big event. Yeah. I can do a big report.
Call in from Ohio and tell us what's happening down there for the big Super Show. Well, we'll be off the air by that time, but you can talk about the Fan Fest and people streaming into the arena.
Well, in the Fan Fest is noon to 5, so I could talk about that. Yeah.
That's going to be at the OVC, or is it OUC?
I think it's OUC.
OUC. Okay.
Shoemaker
Center in Chillicothe, Ohio.
Yeah.
Once you get to Chillicothe, just ask where the wrestling is going to be. Anybody will know.
Well, evidently, Bobby and his team puts out, maybe his family's involved in this too. They help out, and what's weird. I mean, you've been to a lot of wrestling shows in this area, Pat Porter. And when they promote wrestling shows in this area, and many of the many wrestling promotions do this, they put maybe 100 posters out there, the hot spots in the area, and throw some stuff on social media.
Yeah.
Bobby has been known for putting about 1,200 posters out in the town.
Oh.
With arrows and signs, and I guess when you get to Chilliwath or whatever it's called.
Chillicothe.
I got to get that right.
Okay.
everybody knows that wrestling's happening, and he's a smart promoter. He's been promoting for many years, many decades, I would say.
Yeah.
A lot of experience, a lot more than the regular wrestling promoter here in
You take
Southern
the
Ontario.
interstate down to Columbus, and you keep going south past Columbus. You go around Columbus, and it's kind of in the same area as Circleville, Ohio.
Okay.
It's a big country music area down there too.
Okay, yeah.
So when you get down there, you'll know that you're going to be in the right place to see Bobby Fulton and the world classic professional big time wrestling event.
Yeah, it's gonna be fun.
Week from today, we're going to get him on the air, I guess, in about 10 minutes or so.
Yeah, we'll get him on the air. Sure.
Why don't we talk about our
Good
sponsors
idea, Pat
real
Porter. I
quick
almost
here?
forgot. I almost forgot about that.
We got to give some credit because Dale Ann Melnick is in Florida right now.
Okay.
And what she does is search out universities and colleges and places where she can put students in from Canada for an athletic scholarship, like the University of Florida or South Florida or any of those places down there. New Orleans, all over the South and all over mid-Atlantic states, North Carolina, and then she goes all the way out to Calgary, Vancouver, Halifax, and Toronto, Vancouver, Ottawa.
Yeah,
finding places at universities to put students, female students, that play volleyball.
Okay.
They play volleyball in high school, or they play beach volleyball, and they happen to get pretty good at it. And they think, well, I could make a career out of this, at least for 5 or 10 years of my life, and have a little fun, make some money.
And you know what you do at that point?
What?
You call Six Pack Recruiting.
You call Six Pack Recruiting.
That's right. Yes.
SixPackRecruiting.com.
Yes.
Spelled out SIX, packrecruiting.com. And there's a phone number there to talk to Dale Ann Melnick. And she'll tell you exactly what you have to do. You want to play NCAA, U Sports, or CCAA. It's a free call with your recruiter, Dale Ann Melnick, and you can find out how Six Pack Recruiting Sports can support you. Backed with personal support. So you have a problem, so you get down to university, you're 17, you're 18, you're thinking, well, I got some questions. Call Dale Ann Melnick. She'll tell you exactly what you need to do to fit in, to be part of the scene.
She's been in the trenches, has a lot of experience. 30 years.
30 years
Where else are you
experience.
going to find somebody with that much experience,
Nowhere.
So Dale Ann Melnick.
Dale Ann Melnick, she's going to be featured on a Tampa radio station while she's in Florida as well.
Right.
WTAN, which has about 5 or 6 repeaters that get you right through Central Florida, all over Central Florida.
Yeah.
So she's going to be on there interviewed about her six-pack recruiting. So we'll tell you about that as well, and you can listen to that as well now that everything's online.
Yes.
It should be a lot of fun.
Perfect.
Okay, and then Herndon Estate Winery.
Yeah.
They're going to be coming back on as a partner and a sponsor 1st of April, but we like to give them a little credit in the meantime.
Of course, we love Hernders,
Oh, yeah. Because they've got so many big events they've got planned.
Yeah, music amongst the vines.
Yeah, music amongst the vines.
It's going to be
That's
coming
going
up.
to be July and August and a little bit into September as well. And a chance to sit out on the patio and, take in the music. And they've got some fabulous acts that are going to perform.
Some huge acts. Vinyl Flux is down there all the time.
Oh, yeah.
Figure 4 is down there. Dizzy Rex, that 70s show.
Yeah, right.
Is coming in. So, those are 3 off the top of my head that are major acts, Pat Porter, and here in
Angel Herndon doesn't fool around. She goes right to the big ones and brings them down there.
Yeah.
And puts them up on the stage, and it's going to be a lot of fun.
Yeah, it's going to be a good time. So check that out. Get on Hernders online.
Yeah, and I was talking to Robin Bannerman from Crystal Ball Beach Cafe down in Crystal Beach, and that's open, of course, all year.
I sent her a message, and she said, "Hey, I'm in Mexico. Goodbye. Don't talk to me."
No.
She blew me off.
She did.
Said, I only talk to Pat.
Okay, well, that's good. Because I got a message from her just day before yesterday.
Okay.
I was telling her that we're all set to go, and we want to talk about her big events down there at the Crystal Ball Beach Cafe.
Yeah.
And she said, "Yeah, I'm coming back 6th of March, so we'll get together. We'll talk about everything."
Yeah, she didn't say it to me. She said
she doesn't like you.
I talk to Pat only.
No, she does like you.
Yeah.
But she knows I'm the big guy in charge here.
Yeah,
so,
I know.
Yeah, so yeah.
In fact, I think the bottom of
a little unhumble here for time.
The bottom of her text message said, "Lose my number."
Oh,
that's what it said. Yeah, so.
Well, I'll share it with you if you promise not to call her.
Yeah.
All right. So there we go. And lots more coming on board.
Of course.
In the springtime and the summertime. We're going to have to do an entire show just to talk about our new sponsors.
Yeah, the weather's getting better, and that's the time that events start happening, and this is where you'll see us out and about and hosting events and doing a lot and in the community, as we always do, and people will be coming on board to get in here, get in the studio, and have us promote these events.
That's right.
So
we do it. Now, we're going to be out today a little bit later on.
Yeah.
Once the show's done here at 4 o'clock Eastern time, we're going to head up to Donnelly's Pub, the Irish Pub in Thorold, Ontario.
Yeah.
We're going to catch the music of Brant Parker and the Blues Band. Mm-hmm. Brant Parker's coming to the Leander Boat Club, and he's also a guy that I had on my show one time. We'll probably get him on as well. And Brant Parker's up there today with Danny Boy Phelan.
Yeah, that's going to be a fun show.
Yesterday.
Yeah, it was on the show yesterday. A very entertaining hour. That show is up in our podcast. And,
it's up on YouTube already.
On YouTube, and you can, on your page, Pat Porter, you can get on the Pat Porter Facebook page, and everywhere else is being spread out all over. But
Patrick Porter on the Facebook.
Brant Parker himself has been legendary in this area for many, many years. I've watched him at least for a decade, what I mean? And he always packs the house as well.
He does.
He's a very, very talented blues musician, and I'm looking forward to,
I got a lead.
catch up with Brant Parker.
I'm going to be talking to Brant Parker, and I'm also going to be talking with Spencer McKenzie.
Wow, those are two heavy
hitters.
Yeah,
they're coming on the show. I don't know exactly the date, but it's coming up soon because they are both going to perform at the Leander Boat Club.
Yeah, well, that Leander Boat Club, that's going to be a big one, too. Probably as big as this wrestling show that we're going to talk about a little bit later on. That's... Spencer McKenzie and Brant Parker, that's
together.
Double trouble. That's a big tag team, and I'm looking forward to that. Yeah.
Oh, wow. Yeah.
Yeah.
So Rob Platsko, a promoter up there in Hamilton, knows how to put together a show.
Sure
well.
does.
So we're gonna make sure we get all that stuff taken care of for you. You want to hear a little music before we get talking to Bobby Fulton?
All right.
How about Theory of a Dead Man? Here, we'll play Theory of a Dead Man for you here. Oh, there we go. Infamous Jay Moore Show. 4680q.ca.
Wake up to a cloudy day, dark rolls in and it starts to rain. Staring out to the cage like walls, time goes by and the shadows crawl. Crushing candy, crushing pills, got no job, mom pays my bills. Texting exes, get my fills, sweating bullets, Netflix chills. World's out there singing the blues, 20 more dead on the evening news. Think to myself, really what's the use? I'm just like you, I was born to lose. Why, oh why can't you just fix me? When all I want to feel numb, but the medication's all gone. Why, oh why does God hate me? When all I want to get high and forget this so-called life. I am so freaking bored, nothing to do today. I guess I'll sit around and medicate. I am so freaking bored, nothing to do today. I guess I'll sit around and medicate. Can't wait to feel better than I ever will. Tack that shit like a kid on Benadryl. Chase it down with a hopeful smile. Hate myself, I can go for miles. They say family's all you need. Someone to trust can help you breathe. Inhale that drug, but you start to choke. You fall on the outs of an inside joke. Why, oh why can't you just fix me? When all I want is to feel numb, but the medication's all gone. Why, oh why does God hate me? Cause I've seen enough of it, heard enough of it, felt enough of it, had enough of it. I am so freaking bored, nothing to do today. I guess I'll sit around and medicate. I am so freaking bored, nothing to do today. I guess I'll sit around and medicate. Superman is a hero, but only when his mind is clear though. He needs that fix like the rest of us, so he's got no fear when he saves that bus. All the stars in the Hollywood Hills, Snapchat live when they pop them pills. All those flavors of the rainbow, too bad that shit don't work though. Your friends are high right now, your parents are high right now. That hot chick's high right now, that cop is high right now. The president's high right now, your priest is high right now. Everyone's high as fuck right now and no one
right, Theory of a Dead Man there. Pat Porter with the infamous Jay Moore. And I got a guest on the line. Jay, you're going to know who this guy is right away.
Oh, I am super excited. I am super excited. The great Bobby Fulton. Is he on the line?
Yeah, he's on the line. Say hello, Jay.
Bobby. Bobby, how are you, my man?
I'm good, Jay. How are you doing today?
I'm really good. I'm super excited. I was looking over the show that you got coming up for World Classic Big Time Professional Wrestling, and this is going to be amazing. And it's coming up next Saturday, March 9th. And how you feeling about it?
I'm really excited about it. I'm going to preface it by saying to everybody that don't know, I've come through throat cancer, so my speech is not real good.
Yeah.
But my mind is good.
Yeah.
And my body is good. And I'm so excited about this show, March the 9th. You know, we got Rob Van Dam,
Yes.
Kurt Angle, Matt Riddle, all the way from Japan, Tokyo. Ultimo Dragon will be there. Over 40 stars in all. It's a big event that we do. This is called the Reunion 3. And we're excited about this big event, guys. I'm telling you, it's worth driving hundreds of miles to be there. As a matter of fact, we have people come from different countries fly in just for our particular event.
Oh, to me, when I look at the lineup that you have here, this is, I'm just going to put it out there. This is, to me, bigger than WrestleMania. I would pay for this before I would go to WrestleMania, you know?
Thanks.
Yeah, and look at the stars like this. It's almost got to be, maybe you're not going to say it because you know all these guys, but I'm going to say it. This has got to be such a huge level of respect for these guys, these performers, these men and women that are wrestling to be on the show, because there's not a lot of cards that you see doing shows like this that has this many stars on it and that are able to take the time and take the booking to do, this one date. And I mean, you got a lot more than you just mentioned there. You got Jimmy Hart, Greg Valentine, Tugboat, the Brooklyn Brawler, like Terry Runnels is going to be Sabu, the Mountie. And I'm not even done. It just goes on and on and on. Like,
right.
Is this something you do every year, Bobby? Is this because you're calling
We've had this company since 1977.
Wow.
And we do two of these major events a year. We do other ones throughout the year.
Yeah.
But we do two of these, one in the spring and one in the fall.
Oh, wow.
And this one we also have, what we do is we have a lot of nostalgia guests, as well as stories from the day. Like we have the Universal Heartthrob, Austin Idol.
Yes.
We have the Sandman. We have Tugboat. We have the Honky Tonk Man and Greg the Hammer Valentine and Handsome Jimmy Valiant, Kevin Sullivan, Tony Atlas, the Barbarian, Medusa. Just so many stars across the board. And what's real wild about this, the town we have this event in is a town of a population of about 25,000 people.
Right.
And we are located in south central Ohio. Chillicothe is the name of the town. And I'm telling you what, it is an event of events. And as you said, I just put on Facebook today that this event could be in any major arena in the country.
Oh, yeah. This is star stuff.
But we have it here in my hometown, Chillicothe. And we have a fellow Canadian, the Mountie, will be on this show.
Yeah, not too far away from us. We're in Canada, Niagara Falls, and Jacques Rougeau, we've run into him many times. He runs some wrestling down here as well. But you're right. You're right, Bobby. You've got over, it's kind of like three different generations of stars there.
Right.
From the 70s, the 80s, and up to today. And I mean, look how long you've been in wrestling for. I mean, like, for you to run it, like, it says something. I mean, that's a long time of running wrestling shows. How long have you been actually promoting before you got out of the ring?
I broke in the business in June of 1977.
Wow.
I was 16 years old. I ran my first show in September of 77 while I was still 16 years old.
Wow.
And my father helped me a lot, and now Dylan, my son, is really spearheading a lot of the stuff.
Yeah.
And everything. He's really the brainchild for this event this size. So this is a family organization, and we're just proud. We love the wrestling business, number one.
Yeah.
And we love to put smiles on people's faces. And hey, we also have women. We have Big Mama, and we also have Maxie and Paler. They'll be wrestling each other. We also have midgets, the micro stars. I'm telling you, this is something for everybody.
Yeah.
Something for everybody.
Yeah. I find that interesting. Like, if anybody knows, it's you and your family that knows how to put these shows together. I mean, the experience. Like, you get these pop-up kind of promoters that just kind of like fly by night that, are here today and gone tomorrow. But you don't often, I mean, maybe never see a promotion that where you have this much experience with this many stars. Like, this is the real deal to me. So where did you, the big time wrestling, did that come from like a playoff of the Detroit? Because I know you were the fan of the Sheik.
Yes, when I grew up, well, back in the 50s, there was a lot of big time wrestling. Texas had one.
Yeah.
San Francisco had it. A lot of wrestling was was considered big time wrestling. But yes, I'm a big fan of Detroit wrestling. I got to wrestle for the Sheik, as a matter of fact, and he rode in my car when we worked for Nick Lewis, and what a nice, classy man he was. I'm talking about the original Sheik.
That's right, yeah.
But not only that, when I was 16 years old, I was wrestling against Wild Bull Curry and Flying Fig Curry, two big stars from the Detroit wrestling office, and also in Canada, as a matter of fact, especially Bob Bookery was a big star up there. But yeah, it's an homage to the Sheik.
Which is interesting.
And we added, it's world classic, they're professional, big time wrestling. I know it's a lot to say, WCP, BGW, but it's hard to describe our particular event.
Yeah.
That's why we ended up calling it that.
Yeah, and speaking of the Sheik, you have the Sheik's nephew, Sabu, on the show. You have Rob Van Dam, who was trained by the Sheik. So, I mean, you got some history there as well, which is interesting. And you spent some time in Canada as well, working for Stu Hart.
Yes, I did, and I loved every minute of it. I tell Brett, and we just had Brett on our last show.
Okay.
And I told Brett every time, I said, Brett, I really love my time in Calgary, but I'll tell you, Brett paid us one of the biggest compliments it ever could be. We had the boogeyman, Marty Wright, on our last show.
Okay.
And when they flew out, they both flew to Denver, and then Brett would fly on to Calgary. And he stopped Marty Wright, and he said, Marty, I can't remember the last time that I was a part of such a well-organized and ran show than the show we were on, talking about the Other Than Mine show. And to me, that's a tremendous compliment.
That's
a
huge compliment. A huge compliment. And what I find interesting, I had heard through the grapevine, I don't know if you want to mention on the air if you're going to protect from kayfabe in that, but I heard that you actually have the locker room separate from the heels of baby faces, which is something that's unheard of these days. Like, you never hear that.
And they walk from two different directions, yes.
Yeah,
yes.
That's definitely the old school way of doing it. How does this generation of wrestlers, how do they feel about that? Because they haven't been through that before.
They haven't been through that, but they understand that we're one of the only people that do that. But I will tell you this: to give you the mindset of the crowd there. Even the crowd is old school. We almost had a riot because they were trying to take my blue tux jacket, and they did, but the fans grabbed it, started throwing chairs, started fighting the hills and everything. So when you come to our show, you're coming to see something where the people still believe, and the reason why they believe is because we want it that way.
Bobby.
And I think that's an important element of the wrestling business is for the fans to suspend their belief
Absolutely.
and say, hey, I'm into what I'm watching. They boo the Hills. They cheer for the baby faces. You never hear, this is boring. You never hear anybody yell out and not protect the business, even those smart fans that might know. They step back and they enjoy it for what it is, good old-fashioned professional wrestling in 2024.
I love that.
Bobby, this is Pat Porter. I'm a co-host with the infamous Jay Moore on the show.
Sir.
Now, I go back a little further than Jay Moore. I might go back to the days you were starting out. I remember on Sunday afternoons, a lot of the cities and towns had wrestling on television on the old black and white, and they'd have the studio and the ring right in the television station. You remember those days?
Sir. I wrestled in a lot of the studios.
Oh yeah, right in the studio.
Huh?
Did you ever run across anybody named Lord Layton or Coco Bobo Brazil or Fritz?
Bobo Brazil, yes. I never met Lord Layton, but I wrestled in Detroit with the Sheets in the TV studio. I wrestled in Cobo Hall. Then when I was in Tennessee, I would wrestle in TV studios in Memphis, in Nashville, and in Chattanooga. And then I used to be on the WTBS shows on the Superstation.
Turner Broadcasting,
in the 80s.
Yeah.
Yes, Turner.
Wow.
I was there, at 6:05 on a Saturday night, especially in the United States, on the Turner Channel. Everybody knew that's when good wrestling was going to be on television.
Oh, yeah.
Absolutely. We even got it down here in Canada and a little bit later on. But I never got some of the early stuff. We were a lot WWE down here in the old Hamburg, the Allentown kind of tapings. What was it like working for Jerry Jarrett? Because you did a lot of work for him as well.
I loved working for him, and I'm going to say this before we go any further. I was 17 years old, and I wrestled in Hamburg and Allentown.
Nice.
If you go to Peacock, that has the WWE stuff, and look at Bob Fulton, you'll see me at about 17 wrestling Pat Patterson, wrestling Steve Travis, wrestling Flying Fred Curry. I've got real black bushy hair. I was a young boy, and I would go and wrestle in Hamburg and Allentown televisions back then. And but working for Jerry Jarrett and being a part of the Memphis territory, those guys were geniuses.
Yeah.
And Jerry Lawler, Bill Dundee, it was magical working in that territory. It was unreal.
Yeah.
You would wonder, how are they going to top this next Saturday? And they always did. Those guys were geniuses.
I really wish I got a part of that, the Jarrett era, because I always hear about it, and I never got to see any of it. I never got to see it. There's some stuff that I didn't get to see out in this area, like Smoky Mountain, or a lot of the stuff that you did. Like, it was just kind of like that Hamburg-Allenberg tapings is what I got until the WWE hit it big.
Right.
So.
Right. I got you. As a matter of fact, I always liked Southern style wrestling. I know that. I always liked that style. It was a faster paced wrestling, and a lot of different. I just like that style of wrestling a little bit more now. Speaking of that territory, was the Sheik was the top man, but the Southern style, I liked it better than the WW. Back then, the WWF was more of a big man, slow moving territory.
Yeah.
Not to say they wasn't great, but the South had smaller guys, a lot faster action, and I just myself preferred that.
I preferred it too, because when I was young, I got my first experience was outside of the WWE kind of stuff was the NWA, that Mid-Atlantic stuff, and it just seemed, and I even seen some of the studio stuff that Pat was talking about as well, where it just seemed like the crowd was a little more excited. It seemed faster wrestling. It just seemed a lot more crisp. You know?
Yes.
A lot more,
Yes,
a lot more interactive with the crowd, I would think. You suspend disbelief a lot more as opposed to watching it, the glitz and the glamour kind of thing.
Right. I just and the people really, really loved it. It was, and another thing, when I broke in the business, not everybody had music.
No.
To get to the ring.
Yeah, you just walked out.
The music would be a chorus of boos or cheers, and you could tell where the guy was by how loud the crowd was getting. They could start off small, and then by the time they got to the ring, the boos and jackholes would be loud for the heels, and the cheers would be great for the baby faces,
Yeah, I love that. Yeah. Have we missed some of that magic, Bobby? Like, how do you feel today when you watch some of this new stuff? Like, I mean, you're a promoter. You have to have a lot of these performers on your show. How do you feel? When you're in a locker room? Like, did you have to tell some of the newer guys you don't do this, you don't do that kind of thing, or do you let it go? Has it evolved?
You do your best.
Yeah.
But it's hard today because they watch Monday Night Raw.
Yeah.
And SmackDown. And see the money those guys are making. And then when I'm trying to say, well, don't do it like that, do it like this.
Makes sense, yeah.
Well, hell, I'm watching them on television,
Yeah.
It's hard to get through the young guys. And understandably so.
I guess so, but it is kind of weird that, some of these guys will go through a contract for a short term as opposed to a veteran that's done this his whole life and runs shows his whole life. It's just,
right.
I just see some of the vets, that come in, like Pat is a good friend of Bobby Bass down here, and I think he would...
Hey, I was in Calgary with Bobby Bass.
Right.
No class Bobby Bass.
Bobby Bass.
Yeah.
That's why I brought his name up. When Bobby goes in a locker room, he does not like seeing the young guys on their phone playing TikTok. Like, he does not like that stuff, He likes his stuff called out in the ring.
Or them going over a match for 2 hours and you're wrestling for 5 minutes.
That's right, yeah. Like, you would never do that in front of no class, and I would think the same of you as well. I mean, anybody that has heel locker room, babyface locker room,
Right. Right.
That's interesting.
Yeah, as a matter of fact, I've had guys panic before because they couldn't get to their opponent to talk to them before a match,
Yeah.
And but the best way to do it is to fill the crowd. Look, if we don't entertain the public, then we defeated our purpose. If we go out there to entertain ourselves, then we're doing it wrong. That's my opinion.
Well, that's perfectly said. Perfectly said. Absolutely.
My opinion.
What I'm sure you worked with Jim Cornette a lot. I mean, you were in the Fantastics. I mean, you were. How was that era for you? Was that
him and I are best friends.
Really? Yeah.
We're brothers. We're actually brothers. I would drive with Jimmy when his mom would drive us to the town.
Oh wow!
And Jimmy was just a photographer, and I told Jimmy, I said, Jimmy, you'll never be a wrestler in the business. But one day you'll be a manager, you'll be a booker, you're really smart for the business. And he's trusted me a lot of times, saying, Bobby, you predicted my future. But Jimmy and I are really, really close. I go see him from time to time, down at his house in Louisville. But him and I are like brothers.
I love that, man. I'm a big fan of Jim Cornette as well as you. Do you think that was the peak of your career? Do you think that was where you were on fire when you were with Cornette and your tag teams?
Well, actually, that was one of them.
Yeah.
But we also had a few with the Sheepherders.
Oh wow!
Although it wasn't worldwide television, even the Bushwhackers, the Sheepherders became the Bushwhackers later, told me that they would be in other countries, and people would say, but tell me about the barbed wire matches with you and the Fantastics.
Oh, wow. Yeah.
So, and a lot of the ECW guys told me that our matches with the Sheepherders were an inspiration
For sure.
ECW.
Yeah. Well, plus you did scaffold matches. Plus you wrestled a bear many, many times.
Oh, I wrestled a bear, yes. Yes. Quite a few times I wrestled a bear. That bear stuck my hands black and blue. And, it was amazing in the wrestling, the bear. And it was something else.
How do you even attempt to do that, Bobby? How do you go for a match or whatever? Like, how does that happen?
Well, you just go in there and fight for your life.
Yeah, you're really fighting for your life.
Yeah, what do you do with a 600-pound bear?
Yeah.
You do whatever. I don't know if you ever heard, but in Cleveland years ago, Wahoo McDaniel punched a bear as hard as he could. And the bear slapped Wahoo in about the 5th row of ringside seats.
Yeah,
and Wahoo was a real man.
Yeah.
The late great Wahoo McDaniel, and he found out, and then Reba Lewis Martinez, he had wrestled in the 50s, 60s, 70s, and with big time wrestling, and a lot up in Canada, and a lot in Ontario. Reba Lewis Martinez, he had his finger bit off by the bear.
Ooh, wow! Can you imagine that?
But you know, I told a story, and you guys will have to look for it on Jim Cornette about the orangutan.
I love that story. I've heard that story. Yes.
And then they had alligator wrestling too. So I mean, animals are big. As a matter of fact, in my hometown, in the 40s, they brought an alligator to wrestle, and the alligator got out of the ring and started going towards the crowd.
Oh.
And in the 40s, they really hadn't seen the alligator except in the Tarzan movie. So the police shot and killed the alligator before it got to the spectators.
Oh, wow. This is amazing. Bobby. I think you're the greatest wrestler I've ever had an interview with.
That's something nice of you to say. I wish I could talk better.
You know what?
I just shared on my page on Facebook. I'm also Jimmy Hines. I have a Bobby Fulton page.
Yeah.
But a Jimmy Hines page, which is my real name.
Yeah.
And I shared a promo I did in 2018 after we get done with this. If you guys will go to my Jimmy Hines page and listen to this promo, and I used to be able to talk really well, but I'm a survivor of cancer, and I'm thankful that I'm able to talk as good as I can talk. I still have a passion for the wrestling business, and also I'm grateful for guys like you keeping the wrestling business alive, doing what you do.
Hey, we love it, and this is why I wanted to get you on today, because you're doing what you do with a passion. You've done it your whole life. We love that hey, you are a survivor, like you say, and you're still doing it, still running shows, and I absolutely love it. So we're going to, Pat Porter, do that plug one more time, if you will.
Yeah, okay. It's coming up next Saturday, a week from today, March 9th, at the Shoemaker Center in Chillicothe, Ohio, which is just a little south of Columbus, Ohio.
Yeah.
World Classic Professional Big Time Wrestling with Bobby Fulton and a cast of dozens and dozens of famous wrestlers that you'll recognize.
Yeah. Bobby, does the Fan Fest start at noon? So that's where you get your stars, like your Kurt Angles.
Noon to 5.
Okay.
And guys, the Fan Fest is noon to 5. The matches start at 7. Now listen.
Mm-hmm.
For $20, you can get into the Fan Fest and the wrestling show.
$20?
Wow.
You can't beat that.
You can never get a deal like that ever. $20, you get the Fan Fest and the wrestling.
Yes. In General Mission City, of course, we have higher price tickets, but the tickets start at $20. If you buy a ticket, like the front row people, they buy their ticket, they show up for the Fan Fest and the Super Show. And the $20 ticket is good for the Fan Fest and the Super Show. You can't get a deal like that anywhere.
You will never, ever get a deal like that with this many stars on it, and we haven't even said half of them. Like, you still got Jimmy Hart, you still got the Barbarian, you still got Tony Atlas, Shane Douglas, the Rock and Roll Express, which you've had history with,
Wildfire Tommy Rich, Devon Dudley, Tugboat, Skinner, Steve Hearn that wrestles as a fabulous one. Also, the Birdman, Coco Beware, the Bounty. You've got Bill Apter, magazine man Bill Apter, you'll be there. Alberto Del Rio. I mean, the list goes on and on and on and on.
And Sonny Rio, and you still haven't even mentioned there's a lot of the ECW stars, including Rob Van Dam, but also Sandman, Francine, Gary Wolf, Little Guido's going to be there, Tommy Rich, Kevin Sullivan, Missy Hyatt, Sabu, which of course you'll have history with his uncle, Al Snow, and Shane Douglas, and Todd Gordon, who started ECW.
Right, and we're flying this guy all the way from Tokyo, Japan, Ultimo Dragon.
Which is amazing.
Doing the meet and greet and wrestling that night.
I love it, man. This is going to be Matt Riddle. So there you go. You have every star that you could possibly. Go ahead, Pat Porter.
I want to hear a story, Bobby, about Big Mama. Kind of fantasizing
Big
about
Big Mama is a Big Mama. I'm going to tell you, Maxine Taylor and Big Mama. Big Mama is a woman that has bullied every woman that stepped into the ring. She's the queen of the ring champion. She's so hated, the fans are starting to love her. But now she's facing Maxine Taylor, the NWA Ladies TV champion, and this match is going to be a great, great match.
Wow, yeah. Well, I can imagine, yeah. Somebody called Big Mama's got to definitely be something to watch out for.
Yeah.
Hey, and she's ready to back it up, too. As a matter of fact, she begged me, Bobby, is there any way I could wrestle a bear? I thought I could take him. I said, Big Mama, they don't allow that anymore. But she wants to get a hold of somebody and rip them from limb to limb.
Well, the name certainly fits, Big Mama. She's going to be down there for the Super Show at 7 o'clock. A week from today, Saturday, March 9th, Chillicothe, Ohio. Get down there at noon for the Fan Fest until 5 o'clock and the Super Show at 7 o'clock. And Rob Van Dam, Q&A at 5 o'clock until 6 o'clock. Wow.
Yep. And Rob Van Dam's wrestling Matt Riddle. A dream match.
That's a dream match. Yeah, that's a dream match anywhere. But it's going to happen on your show, Bobby. Man, you are a talented promoter, talented booker. Shout-outs to your family and shout-outs to Dylan for setting this up for me. I hope to do this again. How often do you run shows?
Well, we run a few, quite a few a year.
Yeah.
They're not always on this big level, but most of the time they are.
Yeah.
This year we're going to start doing even more.
Beautiful.
But like I said, tickets are available at the door.
Okay.
There's people coming from Canada, coming from Arizona.
Yeah.
Coming from Australia to watch. I'm telling you, they come from everywhere for our event because it's a real good building. Where normally you might see a star, but you see them from afar. This way, it's up and personal.
True.
You get a chance to really see them, and we really enjoy putting this event on. Dylan is the mastermind behind it.
Yeah.
We have WD Auction House is one of the major sponsors that helps us with this event, and really, this is really something special in a historic building, and we're excited about it next Saturday.
And all this for $20. I mean,
yeah, that's the starting price.
That's a starting ticket. Take my money now, Bobby. You got it.
Right. Hey, can I tell you about me and Dylan going to see your beautiful Niagara Falls?
You're coming here, or you're going to tell me a story?
No, we were there a couple of years ago.
Okay.
I'm going to tell you a quick story, okay?
Okay.
So me and Dylan was in Buffalo, New York, and we said we want to go to Niagara Falls.
Nice.
So we drove up. So everybody said that the most beautiful part of the falls, you got to see it from the Canadian side.
Yeah.
So I went up to the Canadian border. I said, hey, I want to come over and see the falls. He said, do you have a passport? I said, no, but I got a driver's license. So he said, well, come on. So, and they said, but give us $5. So we paid them $5 and drove across the border, had a real nice meal, walked around on the Canadian side. When we went to come back from Canada to the United States, when I pulled up the United States side, the guy said, "Where's your passport?" I said, "We don't have it." He said, "How'd you get over to Canada?" I said, "I drove over." And Dylan said, "You want $5?" He said, "No." Dylan said, "Well, that's your problem. We had to pay to get into Canada, and everybody just in over here free."
Oh, pretty good.
That's
great.
amazing.
We
I
love
love it.
Canada.
Yeah.
Oh, we love you too.
Hey, I'm going to tell you one more story.
All right.
When I was about 17, I went and wrestled for George Shannon's organization and did television in Montreal.
Yeah.
When he was running Newfoundland.
Yeah, Crybaby George Cannon.
Yes. I really was wrestling in a good era where I got a chance to see a lot of the older guys, and then I was in a time when the younger guys were coming on. As a matter of fact, Dylan was on the plane with MJF the other day.
Okay.
You know what I'm talking about.
Yep.
Right?
Yeah, sure do.
He
MJF.
said, "I love your dad. That era of professional wrestling to me was the best ever.
It was.
The best that ever will be."
Yeah, it
In
was.
the 80s wrestling.
The 80s wrestling, I happen to agree with it. It's my favorite era. It's what I grew up with, and I wish it would come back, and this is your opportunity to see some of those stars and that style of wrestling, and just to know the vet that you are, Bobby. I brought it up 3 times now, but I love it so much, the separating the heels and the baby face, so that the crowd suspends disbelief is the exact kind of thing that I like about pro wrestling, you know?
Right. Well, you know, when you watch a cowboy movie, one guy comes from one part of town, the other guy comes from the other part of town, and then they have a gunfight.
Right.
Well, that's exactly what we do, and what's going to happen in Chillicothe, except they're not going to have guns, they're going to have fists, feet, and wrestling hoses.
Unbelievable. You are a great man, Bobby. I absolutely love it. Yeah.
Thank you, gentlemen. I appreciate you letting me
thanks for
be on
talking to
here.
us.
I'm excited about Chillicothe this coming Saturday, March the 9th. Tickets will be available at the door. God bless you guys and on your show, and thank you for allowing me to be a part of it.
We love it, Bobby. We hope to have you back, and let's check out that promo that Bobby's going to put out there on his Facebook page at Jimmy Hines.
Oh, he did. It's from 2018.
Yeah.
And if you don't mind, share it.
We will share that.
Because it's a lot different from me talking today. But and let me know. Call me back and let me know what you thought of that promo.
That's all right. Yes, you got it, Bobby. Thank you, my man. We will see you in Chillicothe.
Okay.
God bless you. See you on Chillicothe. All roads lead to Chillicothe, Ohio.
Chillicothe, yeah. All right, big time wrestling next week, next Saturday.
Yeah.
In Chillicothe, Ohio, March 9th.
It doesn't get bigger than that.
Get there for noon. $20. $20
bucks. It doesn't get better than that, Pat.
Wow. Thank you, Bobby. You take care, eh?
He's out.
Bobby's gone. All right. He checked out on us.
He did business and he left, Pat Porter.
Well, that's okay. We're gonna have to check on that.
What a great
promo.
guest. I love him. Yeah.
We got time for one more song before we check out.
All right, let's roll out some music, Pat
let's play
Porter.
something by the Rival Sons. How's that sound?
That sounds excellent.
Sounds pretty good, Rival Sons, and open my eyes.
It's my old entrance song, Pat Porter.
Aha!